Hey y'all, it's Day. So I'm going to be doing another reading for us today, and I hope you guys do enjoy. Very excited for this message that's going to be coming through. I do also want to let you guys know that you can, if you're interested in my readings, check out the link in my bio. I have a Patreon with exclusive readings. You can look at the title description. So far, the descriptions of the messages have been pretty thorough, so you can get a gist of the types of messages that I have been delivering and see if any of them resonate with you. So you can subscribe to me on Patreon. Also, through the link in my bio, you can learn a little bit more about me and my readings, how I do them, and the perspective that I'm coming from in doing my readings. Also, you can check out my Day Royale's intention setting store, which is hosted by Etsy, where I'm making fixed candles. Right now I only have one candle on here, but I will be adding more candles as we go. But the first candle is a roadblock breaker candle. So it's a white candle. It's just setting intentions and whatever part of your journey that you're in right now, inviting your angels, guides, ancestors, God, source, and benevolent energies that stand in truth and love, that's specifically on your spiritual theme, inviting them into your life, giving them permission to help you, to protect you, to guide you as you walk your path, as you walk your personal journey, as you're walking in your purpose. So if you're interested in that, definitely check out the link in my bio. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So let's take a look here. Let me move my phone. What do we need to hear? What do we need to hear right now? Very interesting. Okay. We do have the full card picking out here. Good. So underneath the deck we have the Ace of Cups in reverse, which is going to be very interesting. The message that I'm getting with this is kind of like some feeling of unfulfillment, and I'm hearing the word insecurity. So someone is feeling like some form of fulfillment is escaping them or unattainable in some way, shape, or form. But we'll get more information on that since that's the undercurrent energy here. So we also have at the top of the spread, we have the Tower card coming out sideways. Wow, it came out in this exact position in a previous reading. So very interesting. So we have a Tower card coming out sideways. We also have on top or underneath that, the Justice card coming out sideways as well. And then we have the 10 of Wands coming out underneath that Justice card sideways. And I'm hearing the word reap. So let's see, reap. Someone who helps to gather the harvest. Farm machine that gathers a food crop from the fields, a new apportionment, gather, gain, get, obtain, receive, to perform the act or operation of gathering, harvest, reap. So, and I'm hearing the word sowed as well. There is something that someone has, there is something that someone is needing to collect, and they haven't collected it just yet. I'm not sure if they are unaware that this is something that is kind of like, it's kind of like something being in the lost and found, but you didn't realize that you lost it, and you're needing to collect this item. Is the way that it's coming through here. So on the side here, the far right, we have the moon card in reverse. Wow, this is really speaking to like something is hidden, there's something undiscovered, there's something untapped. It's kind of like check your inbox, those notifications where it's like you have mail, like you have something, there's something in your inbox. You know, sometimes like you'll get an email or a notification, but it's just like it's not even really important. It kind of feels like that. It's kind of like you've been neglecting your inbox, you've been neglecting your email, and you get this notification that you always get because it's always never really anything important. Your spiritual team is wanting you to check your spiritual inbox or your metaphysical email. Underneath this moon card, which came out in reverse, specifying that there's something that has been undiscovered in regards to possibly your spiritual talents or abilities or something. We have the world card also in reverse, which is letting me know that something about this gift, whatever it is your spiritual team is wanting you to check or to realize, like I said, it could be an untapped gift or something that you're undervaluing, is going to benefit you in the physical world. I'm hearing plane, on the physical plane. So something about this spiritual gift or something that feels intangible or maybe intangible, is going to benefit you in navigating your daily life. We also have the Queen of Swords the Queen of Wands in reverse here. And we did hear depleted earlier, so it may be speaking to that because the Queen of Wands is known for being fiery, being very expressive, sharing their talents, having a certain level of confidence. And so with it in reverse, it feels like there may be something related to this spiritual gift that you have that you're not necessarily showcasing or proud of, or I'm hearing the word hindering. You're not coming out with it. Then underneath it, we have the Death card in reverse. Oh my god. Like, we have the Death card in reverse. So this is signaling that something about the spiritual gift is kind of like you're holding back again. And I feel like this message is like a part 2 or a continuation of the previous message, because it was talking about like there's some hobby or skill that you have that you just haven't been showcasing. Perhaps you're worried about how others will perceive you or think of you negatively or something like that. But it's like, oh my gosh. So with the Death card in reverse, it's speaking to some form of resistance to a transition that's happening here. And this Death card is coming out underneath this 10 of Wands we just talked about and this Justice card. So going back to the word reap, your spiritual team is coming through to say that there's something that they're wanting you to reap, to obtain, to gain, to use as a resource to utilize for your own benefit. And with Justice coming out, letting us know that this is a choice. which is very interesting because it feels like you're feeling like you're gonna have to walk through the fire, having to walk through, imagine like people on both sides of you, like yelling at you, like you may be familiar with, I forgot the name and I should remember, but the first black girl or black child to be integrated into what is it called, unsegregated schools or something like that. It's kind of like she had to walk into the school, but she had to be escorted into the school, and there were students, white students on either side, like yelling. And just think of like the harm that can be caused by just people's words or just what she felt from the energy around her just being so small. Like she was probably just barely coming into consciousness. I'm not sure exactly how old she was, but she was probably like 6 years old or something like that. So it's kind of like, imagine feeling the hate, feeling the negativity, feeling the being a feeling of being unwanted or rejected, or felt like you're contaminating the school type of energy. So not to take it too far into that, but something about what your spiritual team is asking you to realize, to dig more into, and to showcase with this moon card and the Queen of Wands in reverse feels like a burden. With the Ten of Wands coming out sideways, it's also acknowledging that it doesn't have to necessarily be viewed as a burden, which was also a part of the message that was coming out in the message previous to this one. They were talking about changing your perspective, going into something thinking that you're going to be persecuted, thinking that you're going to be getting negativity, and that might not necessarily be the case. But even if it is, your spiritual team is asking you not to go into pursuing whatever that creativity project or whatever you're being called to pursue with that mindset, with an expectation of negativity. So again, this Ten of Wands coming out sideways is saying like, speaking to a sense of burden that you're anticipating, and it's coming out for me in the choice point perspective. So that doesn't necessarily have to be your experience. So with the Justice card coming out above this Ten of Wands, it's also saying to me that your spiritual team is saying that a part of you reaping this gift, the spiritual gift, it feels like a spiritual gift, a talent or a skill that needs to be harvested, or some work that you have previously done in the form of working towards this craft or developing this craft or skill. There's some justice that you're meant to experience in having done the work already. And like I said, with the Death card in reverse, there's some resistance on your end. And it's very interesting that above this Justice card, we have the Tower card, the very first card that came out. And it's coming out in the position that shows me that there is some inclination to resistance on your end, or on our end. And it's interesting because this Tower card came out earlier, so I really need to just sit with this for a second. So I'm hearing the word element. The way that it's coming through is kind of like walking into, I'm hearing adverse, an adverse situation. Let's look up adverse as well. Adverse, acting against or in contrary direction, opposed, contrary. So yeah, so whatever it is that you're being called to do specifically, something about it, your environment or your perception of how you may perceive seems adverse. your actions, you standing in your power, you being authentic, you following your calling, you pursuing your goals, you following your form of creativity feels adverse to your immediate environment or who you're supposed to be or who you thought you were meant to be. So that is definitely coming through, and that's a part of this. I'm hearing the word rejection. That's a part of the reason why there is this delay. But again, like, it's like your spiritual team is like, they're asking you to walk through what you feel like is the fire, but they're literally like, walk through this fire. There's a golden nugget here for you. Like, what? Excuse me? What do you mean? Like, that's what it feels like. So, wow, very interesting. So with the Tower card coming out here and the word elements was coming through, it just feels like walking through harsh elements or walking into a new adventure or journey, not knowing what it's going to be like, anticipating but also having a negative view of it, not sure what to expect. Elements, violent or severe weather. This is exactly what it feels like, as caused by the action of the 4 elements. Elements. Why is that the only definition? I use my dictionary to look up elements as violent or severe weather. That's exactly what it feels like. It's like, what am I walking into? I'm not entirely sure, but it does feel like it's like someone feels like they're going to be going into battle. It's crazy. Like a spiritual battle, and it's like not necessarily being physically harmed, but like through hate speech or like negative thoughts or negative projections or evil eye. So again, the first message that came out here was the under the deck energy, which was the Ace of Cups. Your spiritual team is saying like there is fulfillment in what they're asking you to reap right now. And someone was feeling like a sense of loss in regards to fulfillment at the beginning of the message here. So it feels like something about this next step, this next journey that you're being called to pursue, your spiritual journey. Your spiritual team is encouraging you to pursue. There is like an element of your emotional fulfillment that is meant to be harvested. But right now it just feels like it's kind of like you doubt. It's kind of like when you lose your keys and maybe someone's helping you look for your keys and they're like, is it here? Is it there? And you're just kind of like discounting, like, no, it's not there. It couldn't be there because like you're thinking in your head, I would have like known, I would have figured it out. So your spiritual team is asking you to look in a surprising place where you wouldn't think that there would be a reward or a golden nugget through this journey. It's kind of like, yeah, it's like you're in the desert and your spiritual team, God is like, water will be at this specific place, and it's just like, I have to go through all this just to get the water. I doubt that water is going to be out there or something like that. It's just like something about your spiritual team or your spiritual gifts are in a different place than you would suspect. It's very interesting. So definitely continue to trust, continue to use your discernment. If you have been called to do something, to pursue something, if you are being nudged, even if you're feeling like you're not ready, even if you're a little bit worried about your skills, because this is like a continuation of the previous message. You might, if you haven't already, check out the previous message. Okay, so underneath this Ace of Cups, we're talking about your emotional fulfillment that's needing to be obtained. We have the 5 of Swords in reverse, and I'm hearing the word hate. Next to that, we have the Four of Cups. And this is representing you just kind of being a little bit stagnant, a little bit hesitant to move forward in regards to what you're being called or asked to do. I'm hearing possibly this Five of Swords in reverse is like fear of conflict, fear of making waves. Oh, underneath this Four of Cups, we have the King of Wands in the reverse. The King of Wands is known for being a leader, known for being inspirational, known for having ideas, knowing for having foresight, future planning, and with it coming out in reverse, right now you are just not in that energy of planning, looking forward in a positive manner. So with that coming out above this Four of Cups, this is just reiterating that you're not moving forward right now, and your spiritual team is asking you to. And that I'm literally hearing for fear of judgment. For fear of judgment. Wow. On the far left here, we have the Page of Pentacles. This is speaking to this Moon card on the far right here in reverse. There's something untapped, an untapped territory or spiritual gift or expression of a skill or gift that you already have, that you haven't released or expressed to the public here. And so with this Page of Pentacles coming out in reverse, this is your skill, your craft that your spiritual team is wanting you to further develop, but they're ready for you to take it, make it public, take it out, showcase it. So again, speaking to the previous reading, even if you feel like you've developed skills and there's some things that you need to tweak or improve on, your spiritual team feels like wherever state you're at right now, you're ready and you can pick up and learn the rest and continue to develop on the way. But they want you to get on the road, take your skills, your talents, and showcase them on the road right now. So that's beautiful. You definitely have value that's coming through here. So we do have some more cards that came out underneath here. Let's see. Wow. So, underneath this Tower card, which came out, we were talking about you dealing with the elements and also feeling like, how am I going to weather the storm? What kind of weather is it going to be? I don't even know how to prepare properly because I don't even know what the weather is. That type of energy. Underneath that, we have Temperance. So your spiritual team is coming through very calmly to say, to remain calm, remain grounded. All you really just need to focus out on right now is not what to expect, but from the elements, from external things, but what to expect from yourself. And that's powerful. So what to expect from yourself, to stay grounded, to continue to be intuitive. I'm hearing to be open, to stay calm, to walk with integrity, to know that you're following your calling, you're following your purpose. That's all you really just need to know, and continue to keep your eyes and ears peeled for your spiritual team's guidance and protection. I'm hearing. So underneath this Temperance card, we have the Emperor. What I'm getting with that right away is that you are a leader, your spiritual team is coming through to say, but you are a leader, but remember that your spiritual team is kind of like the head, so they're guiding you and protecting you. God is the head, so they're asking you to kind of follow them, follow their lead. Just do what you're asked to or being called to do right now. And that is directly tied to this Temperance, as in remaining calm, being open, being centered, I'm hearing. in regards to weathering these elements. So like I said, some people are fearing not to do something because they have a fear of rejection, self-doubt coming up, negativity, evil eye. And your spiritual team is coming through to say it's not necessarily that you won't experience that, but we trust that you'll be able to handle it and walk through it. And in doing so, we want you to maintain a certain level of integrity within your emotional body, and within your higher visions for yourself, and then also stay connected to your spiritual team, continuing communication with them, and being open to what you're being called to do next. Wow, so we have the Magician card, which is also coming out on top of this Temperance and the Emperor in reverse. And then we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse as well. What is this? Your work. Very interesting. Something about this Ten of Pentacles in reverse is kind of like representing your efforts, or what you have to offer, or what you specifically will be producing in pursuing this calling. Perhaps it may be unrecognized. It looks like your spiritual team is not wanting you to focus on how your content will be received, or feedback. I'm hearing content feedback. So in pursuing this goal, your spiritual team is really wanting you to focus on like yourself. So for example, if you're making videos about something that you're being called to talk about, perhaps you don't get, X amount of views that you are anticipating, or you feel like you should be getting, or maybe if this is connected to money, not feeling like being discouraged by the amount of views that you get, but instead to focus on like your improvement and what you're building and what you're being called to do. So the way that it's coming through is like maybe you might make 20 videos before you actually like see the benefits of it. And this is separate from what we were talking about earlier, like something that your spiritual team is wanting you to reap, to gain. This is separate from that, but it also feels like there may be this element of exercising, I'm hearing faith, exercising your faith in what you've been called to do. So like I said, you may need to make 20 videos or 10 videos before you start seeing, receiving anything, profiting from it, but they don't want you to allow that to discourage you from what you're being called to do, because you're building something and it does feel like underground. Like when people do find you, they'll be able to binge on these 20 videos that you've made 6 months ago or something like that. And I'm hearing the word fruitful with this Magician card here. Let's see. If bearing is in here. Relevant relation or interconnection. Producing or yielding. Withstanding a weight or strain. A manner in which one bears or conducts oneself. Behavior. Patient. Endurance. Suffering without complaint. Wow. So yeah, going back to like this element situation we're talking about, where you don't know exactly what to expect. Perhaps that's one of the things that you can expect is like time before things get off the ground, but your spiritual team is going to be giving you time. Like when you put, like say you put your stuff out there, there may be a delay in, from your perspective of like, oh, maybe I'm not getting as many clients. Should I stop? Is it worth it? But your spiritual team is not wanting you to get discouraged because of that, because they're bringing people to you at one time, possibly at a later time, or a little bit later than you perceive to be appropriate. So on top of this King of Wands in reverse, where we talked about you're not necessarily initiating anything right now, and I'm hearing the word resolve. Reach a conclusion after a discussion or deliberation. Decide, settle, resolve, educate, bring to an end, settle conclusively. So on top of this King of Wands in reverse, we have the we have the Nine of Swords in reverse. The Nine of Swords can signal someone having sleepless nights, anxiety, fears, and I'm hearing the word rejection again. And so with the word resolve coming out with this Nine of Swords in reverse, your spiritual team is not wanting you to worry. And I'm hearing the word burden. Your spiritual team is not wanting you to be burdened by your thoughts regarding long planning, long execution planning. They just want you to focus on the footsteps ahead in regards to what you're being called to do. And that's why they were saying with this Temperance card to continue to stay connected to your spiritual team. Keep your eyes and ears open in regards to your spiritual team. Continue to communicate with them. And I'm hearing the word reassurance, because they're going to be letting you know the next steps as you go. So definitely with that Nine of Swords coming out in reverse, they're asking you to just focus on the next steps, not to worry. And that was directly tied to what we were talking about earlier, this Four of Cups, where you're a little bit stagnant because of worry or fear that you have in regards to how you'll be perceived by others in pursuing this goal or dream or sense of fulfillment. So underneath what we talked about earlier, this Five of Swords, we have the Nine of Wands. And that both of those are coming out underneath this Ace of Cups in reverse. Hi, Booba. Okay, baby. So yeah, with the Nine of Wands coming out, with the Knight of Wands coming out, let's see. It does just feel like this journey is making you feel like something about like a bruised ego in some way. Like it feels very scary to you, something about embarking on this journey or pursuing this task. Yeah, it does. It just feels like what it is an aspect of you is being asked to be more vulnerable and trusting to your spiritual team in pursuing this craft, this goal, this hobby, whatever this calling is that you're being nudged to pursue. And fear of rejection, fear of conflict is a concern for you. But like we said earlier, what we said earlier was like your spiritual team is like, walk through this fire, there's a golden nugget for you over there. And you're just like, what you mean walk through the fire? Like that's how we feel right now. But this is directly tied to your emotional fulfillment, something that you're meant to reap, experience a reward. So yeah, it just feels very scary. So on the far left, earlier in the reading, we have the King of Pentacles coming out again. This is definitely a continuation of the previous reading, which I haven't really had before. Yeah, this is basically you meant to build, establish, reap. We talked about, this is coming out above this page of Pentacles, where we're talking about you have a skill that has value and your spiritual team is wanting you to continue to develop it, but in public, like showcase it, like what you've learned so far is enough. And so the King of Pentacles coming out is like, this is what is going to be established over time with you pursuing what you're called to pursue. Wow. Then we also have the King of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles came out sideways, letting us know that we are being presented a choice point here. And I'm hearing the word reap again. And I'm hearing the word sown again, which we heard earlier in the reading. Sown, as in something that you've already put time, energy, and effort into. So it's in past tense. And now it's time to reap. And I'm also hearing the word owed. Reap what you are owed. So with the Knight of Pentacles, I see this is you being encouraged to obtain what's yours. Which is interesting because it's like you have to actually do more work in order to receive it. But I think it's just tied to the fact that your spiritual team is like, you're good enough. People just need to see you. People just need to see you. You need to showcase what you've learned at this point. So very interesting here. And again, remember, we had the Moon card earlier in reverse. Untapped potential, and then underneath that we had the Queen of Wands. So your spiritual team is definitely wanting you to be more expressive in regards to whatever this is. Is there anything else that we need to know in regards to this message? Is there anything else that we need to know in regards to this message? Yep. Yep. Okay, that feels good. So the last card that came out at the top of the deck was the Four of Wands. So again, if in regards to this skill, this talent, this hobby, whatever your spiritual team is asking you to showcase, to share with others, it's stable and it's fruitful, and it's ready for shop. It's ready to be put on the shelves. This is coming out directly on top of this Ace of Cups that came out in reverse. One of the initial cards here. So I think that's lovely. So we have the Queen of Cups. This is coming out on top of this Nine of Swords in reverse, where we talked about you feeling, you being encouraged not to feel fearful or be worrisome or spend time and energy being worrisome of your next steps. So in order to accomplish or achieve that, maintaining emotional integrity, staying calm, being kind of fortified in your with your spiritual team and in your emotional body regarding the situation, which reminds me, actually gives me an idea. Let me see, because I have a list of fixed candles that I'm going to be making, but I'm going to release them intuitively. Where is it? Here it goes. So fortitude, that word, remind me if possibly I can brainstorm a fortitude candle, which would be another white candle, possibly green lettering, signifying growth, with our spiritual team being fortified in what we're being called to do. Yes. Okay. So yeah, expound on that more privately, and like I said, I'll be releasing more fixed candles, but right now we're doing road blockers. So if you're needing a road blocker candle, if you're wanting to set intentions as you move forward in your purpose and your calling, definitely visit Day Royale's intention setting store, which you can visit through the link in my bio. So obtaining or being able to exercise your emotional integrity. And then we have the Nine of Cups coming out in reverse as well next to that. This is definitely coming through in the form of like self-doubt, and I'm hearing self-reliance. Your spiritual team is not wanting you to focus too much on self-reliance. They actually want you to invite them more into your space, asking them for help, letting them know your desires, your wants, your needs, your worries, and also any worries, giving it to them. They're not wanting you to be discontent in any way. Oh, I didn't realize. So we just talked about this Queen of Wands in reverse, you showcasing your skills. And on top of that, we had the Queen of Pentacles coming out in reverse. So you showcasing your skills, whatever you got to do to get yourself to that place where you have a certain level of confidence in showcasing your skills is going to be very important, because it's directly related to your ability to receive money, abundance. So you have to be open to receive. You have to feel like you are worthy of receiving. For example, can be like sometimes you could feel a little bit awkward about asking for donations or asking for tips for your readings, for example, or asking people to visit your shop. So your spiritual team is wanting you to also focus on getting more comfortable. If you have to use affirmations, I am confident, I am worthy of sales, whatever, get creative. If you think of some affirmations, leave them down below too, in relation to, like, for someone who may have self-doubt in regards to their skills. And I'm hearing honing, which I don't even like that word, honing your skills. Let me see if that is that an actual word, honing. I hate that word just because they use it so much in Texas, especially in sales position. Hone your skills, hone it. Like, oh my gosh, can you not? I'm not even sure if that's a real word, or may not be spelling it properly. Now I really want to know. Hone your craft. Let's see. Hone something, for example, a skill, technique, idea, or product. You carefully develop it over a long period of time so that it is exactly right for your purpose. Hone, taking core concepts like active versus passive voice and mastering them to a point where you can artfully play with them to create nuance in your writing. Honing your craft. Discipline matters more than creativity, inspiration, or motivation. This brought up a lot of good articles, it looks like, so maybe I should have more appreciation for the word hone. I'm not sure if it's still a real word or not, though. I mean, it's coming up, but it is not bringing up like a definition. Hone. Definition. There goes. Smooth and sharpen. Refine or perfect over a period of time. So honing your skills. So on top of this Knight of Pentacles, where we talked about there's something that you're meant to receive, we have, wow, the Seven of Swords coming out on top and the Three of Pentacles. So definitely you may be dealing with self-doubt in some way, shape, or form, where you go in and out, which is actually quite normal. You go in and out of thinking, this is a good idea, oh, it's not that great, this will work, I'm feeling inspired, it's like not that good. So yeah, just be aware of that and feed yourself positive affirmations regarding that. Make them up, find some online, and then what's being reiterated again is collaborating with your spiritual team. Continuing to talk to your spiritual team is going to be very helpful in helping you, give you the strength and courage to move forward. So above this, we have the Star card coming out sideways. This is falling directly on top of this Temperance card, where your spiritual team is asking you to remain grounded as you're walking through the elements. And they were reiterating, it's like you don't have to know what to expect from the external, just know what to expect from yourself. So we have the Star card coming out here. Definitely feeding yourself, feeding your soul, your spirit, picking up rituals or practices that kind of help you and remind you of what you're doing, that you're on a journey, and also most importantly that you're not doing it alone. Your spiritual team is helping you, they're egging you on, they're encouraging you, they're nudging you, They're supporting you and protecting you. But with the star card coming out sideways, spiritual team is definitely encouraging you to pick up something, a practice that is going to further feed your soul and your level of courage, your level of confidence. So journaling, writing down your intentions, writing down what you would like to experience. That's why I have my personal journal here. It's green because I love everything that's associated with thoughts of growth, thoughts of positivity. You can follow me on my Instagram if Instagram is your vibe, because I'm not doing it just yet. But eventually I'm going to be doing readings and posting them on my Instagram. I have some readings already on there, but I've taken a long break from it. But green _ thoughts is another page that you can reach out to me on, connect with me on, and view my content. Eventually I'll be doing readings there, but it'll be for like the people that are, resonate with Instagram and whoever needs a message there. But anyways, so I have green. I love the color green because it represents growth, positive growth. But anyways, the point of why I picked this up was like, I write down things that I want to experience. When I was working at my corporate job and I wanted to get out, I set the intentions to go part-time there. I wrote down, I planned everything, the logistics, how much money I'll be making, what I want to spend, how I want to spend the extra time that I would have. And journaling doesn't always have to look like, oh, today I feel like this. Like I usually write bullet points. I usually write like literally words. When I used to have to write essays for school, if I don't know, and even now, like if I need to write something that's like a whole paragraph, but I don't know where to start, I would just literally bullet point words that I know I want to use, bullet point words that I know that I want to include, or what I'm trying to convey. And then from there, I'll be able to like formulate and write longer sentences and paragraphs. So you don't have to just write a whole story. It could be bullet points, it could be words, anything. But writing down is one way. Your spiritual team is encouraging you to kind of like feed your confidence. Remind yourself of what it is that you're wanting to experience. Like I said, you can make your own candle. Go to the dollar store and make you a candle and set your own intentions. If you're needing help or you would like me to set intentions with you in collaboration, like I said, you could visit De Royale's intention setting store, which is through the link in my bio in Etsy. Making candles, writing it down, even in your phone. If you're not somebody that likes to physically write things down, pull out that notepad, that note app in your phone and write down anywhere. What are other ways? I can't really think of any other ways right now. I usually do, but just set in intentions any way that feels intuitive to you. And I would love more ideas on how to set intentions. If you are creative, leave it below. Like, how do you like to set intentions? What do you like to do? What are some other things that people can do? Oh yeah, when you're getting like really spiritual, whatever, some people like to, infuse their water, take a spiritual bath, whatever. I did not realize how dry my throat was. So yeah, your spiritual is wanting you to feed your soul, feed your confidence. Wow. And that is directly related to your ability to continue to stay calm, to be mindful of your temperament and being centered as you're walking through the elements. Reminding yourself that you're called to do this. I'm hearing the word incantation as well. So again, inviting your spiritual guides, your spiritual team to help you We have the King of Swords coming out sideways as well. So again, this was in a previous message. Your spiritual team, I think that was actually going on Patreon. Spiritual team is asking you to communicate with them more. So definitely make sure that you're doing that, talking to them. Is there anything else that we need to know? I would like to close this reading. We're almost at an hour. Your spiritual team is also saying that things are going to be moving along like faster than you realize, but it doesn't feel as much external. It feels more internal or something. With this 8 of Wands, it's falling on top of this Queen of Pentacles and the Moon card in reverse in regards to hidden talents that haven't been just truly expressed. It's like you're going to be growing on the inside as you're pursuing this goal externally. You're going to be experiencing exponential growth. It's coming up here. So on top of this 8 of Wands, we have the High Priestess. So thank you for confirming that. It's like the spiritual, intangible strength. It's like building strength in a muscle, like a spiritual muscle in your faith. It's like whatever you're going to be learning or obtaining in pursuing your calling, it's going to build your muscle, your spiritual muscle, your faith. As you continue on and doing other projects. So we have that with the High Priestess, and then we have the 5 of Cups here as well. You may be called to leave something behind as you're pursuing this goal, and it does feel like an older version of yourself, which may have been contributing to why you've been a little bit stagnant in pursuing this calling. Like we said earlier, there's kind of like this fear of being judged or getting hated on, projected on, and it's kind of like something about you pursuing this new calling feels like a part of yourself that you have always projected to the world or showcased to the world is very different from who you are now stepping into this particular role. So there is this feeling of vulnerability, of being seen differently by people that know you. So wow. Yep. And then underneath this 5 of Cups, so you're definitely going to be viewed differently. You're going to be viewing yourself differently because you're realizing who you are as you're walking this path and going on this journey. And that's something that I definitely look forward to reflecting on with you in the future. But definitely people that are not beneficial to you are going to be shedding away. Some people are not going to resonate with you. You're not going to resonate with other people, and you'll peacefully just find other avenues or experiences. New realities are going to be opening up for you in the form of experiences through other people and social groups. So yeah, that's beautiful. Like, I'm very proud of you. Continue to keep the faith. Definitely, if you take anything from this reading, continue to communicate with your spiritual team. Ask them for help. Let them know what your worries are. And also continue to write down like what it is you're actually doing. Remind yourself that you're following something that you're being called to do. Feeding your intentions is going to be very important with this Star card. So those are the top 2 takeaways from this reading. Let me know your thoughts on this reading. What is it that you're pursuing? Let me know. And again, visit the link in the bio and message me on Instagram if you are interested in. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for everything. Bye.